The corporation, in terms of size, is about 4,000 FTEs, 4,000 employees. And these are spread across 18 departments. You've got everything from a police force, 3 independent schools, and then you have your traditional sort of public sector type of departments. The question I really wanted answered is, where is everyone from a safety perspective? I wanted to see what was in departments and sort of how they were managing health and safety. And there was a dearth of information. After a 3-hour assessment period, you walk out with a very good understanding of exactly what is being done, what isn't being done. What we got to see very, very quickly was almost at 3 different levels. Is A, is something in, B, is something in and working, and the last one is something in and not working, and actually no one knows it's understandable or nobody knows it's there. So I could then use those gaps to start deploying elements that would close those gaps. There was a significant bit of education that needed to take place within this group. The tool became really, really useful to paint a picture of what I would call, what we know as a management system, why it's important to manage safety within a management system. Conversations we wanted to have the corporation around really framing safety as a leadership component of your management. And ultimately, that's the conversations that we are now starting to have and starting to manage quite clearly using the data with backup. Generally, it's gone down really, really well. I've had everything from hugs. I kid you not, I literally had one operational leader who manages a very prominent landmark in London, who literally, after I broke down the results after his first audit, or assessment rather, literally stood up and gave me a hug. And he went, "I can manage this. I now know clearly where to go with this." That was probably the best one. In terms of the directors, generally they all love it because they could see all of a sudden like where their gaps were, but not just where their gaps were, they could see clearly where and in what part of the system their gaps were. So for me, it really has become a really powerful part of my arsenal as a safety professional, and I've deployed it. I've tried to deploy it everywhere I've been, but unashamedly, because it just gives you such an edge. What I like about certainly Liam and the team is just the responsiveness of it all. The response, the attitude, it never feels too much. So I think the 3 things that I can think it'll give you is it maximizes your resource. We are not well resourced as a health and safety function typically across the public sector. So I think that is something that gives you enormous reach and power into the departments. It's not health and safety people who are at risk, it's the leaders of those services and departments who are at risk. They need to manage health and safety, not us. And it enables us to do that transfer and hold them to account to it. And I think that's the second thing that I think will give us. And I think the third thing is that it also offers light. It offers a feeling of light at the end of the tunnel. It's not impossible. It is actually really simple. And I've had these conversations with directors with the data in front of me to say, look, this is how easy it is. Oh, is that all it is? Yes.